about busking on the programme if you are just tuning in tonight, because Westminster City Council are looking at changing the way buskers can operate in central London, particularly along Oxford Street, in and around Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, Chinatown, that kind of thing. And it may be that they have to apply for a licence to work on a number of designated pitches, and only some of them would be allowed to amplify their work as well. So, for example, one particular group, let me give them their proper name, the Westminster Street Performer Association, opposed these licensing proposals, saying that this could well be a ban on busking. Caroline joins me on the line next, and you busked, I think, for the first time just last year, Caroline. Hello, Caroline.
Hello.
Oh, there we are. We've got you now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You busked for the first time last year, I understand.
I did. It was just something that I've been building up to all my life, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I write a lot of music, and I do sing every day. I work as a I teach children and sort of sing with groups. And I just kept passing buskers, and I just thought, I must do this one day. And I did it for the first time after speaking to a busker in Columbia Road Flower Market. And before I knew it, I just found myself in that position, not ever having done it before. And
so how did you feel then on that first morning as you stood there? Would you play guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar and I sing.
How did you feel there, standing for the first time, about to strike your first chord?
I was just standing there thinking, okay, you've done it, you're all set up, go. And I just couldn't begin. And then it started raining, which I thought, this is it. So I started singing in the rain, just kind of as a joke. And then the sun came out, and then I ended up singing Here Comes the Sun, and it just went from there.
Wow.
And then afterwards I wasn't thinking at all, and it just was really fun, and I just went again and again. And then I write a lot of songs about the environment, so I ended up busking a lot during the Extinction Rebellion protests, both at Easter and in October. And I tried to sort of sing my songs, which I feel should be listened to because they're about the present moment. And busking is a way to get a new audience listening. So,
without a doubt. I mean, clearly you've got the talent, if you're able, in the repertoire, to be able to just strike up the right chords and know all the lyrics to just sing what comes to mind.
I've got a huge repertoire of songs because I'm obsessed with music, and I've collected songs all my life, and I'm no spring chicken now, so I have a lot of songs in my book, and also I'm writing songs all the time. So there's no shortage of songs, but it was just the first just singing there in the street was quite difficult, but then it was fine.
So I mean, honestly, how did it feel? You said it was fun, but I mean, watching people's faces, I don't know if you had a hat on the floor in front of you as well or not.
I did. I had a hat on the floor, and people make requests, and I think I sing a good variety of songs that reach just many, many different people. And people reacted really, they really interacted and responded, and some were dancing, and children, I think because I sing a lot with kids during the week, that people with their children would come up and listen, and I had a little bag of shakers so they could join in a little bit. Everything was very positive, and I mean, I was dreading people just not taking any notice, but they did. And
well, that would be the least of your worries. One busker called me earlier to say he had a woman lean out the window and scream that she was going to call the police on him. I mean, did you have any of those concerns that you might actually upset anyone?
No, it was all. I've had only positive experiences. The only difficulties was when it just starts raining, which it's done quite a lot, and then I had to end up in a phone box with all my stuff and then wait till it stopped. But that was in Portobello Road, but now
none of the traders gave you any shelter. What a load of rotters, honestly.
Yeah. So it is good to be somewhere. But I did get a licence for Camden, and because that's where I live. But in fact, the place that I wanted to busk, which was Granary Square and all around there, I was told I couldn't, and twice stopped because it's private property, and it wasn't very clear when I applied for this licence. So I have to find, there aren't many places because all the underground stations are just with a licence only, and it's really, really difficult to get onto that circuit. It is.
There's a long waiting list.
They don't hold auditions.
That's right. And which is really interesting then, because of course those similar sorts of restrictions that are already in place in Camden, they're looking to roll out to Westminster. So key areas like Oxford Street, Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, Chinatown, Chinatown, where you'll commonly find buskers. If I was to go there now, there'd be somebody on every corner. I mean, do you think it's a good idea to restrict the number of people that can perform, or is that just limiting creativity and performance opportunities?
I think what would be better was to have designated places where people can perform, which aren't, you don't have to have this sort of the same as the underground, but they're just places that then people have a sort of a kind of a code where, you know, you've been there an hour, it's somebody else's turn. And I think there should be designated places. And I can see why it might annoy people in some places, but I think it's part of the life of London, and I really love hearing buskers, and it just adds to the variety. And I've got grandchildren, and they really love it as well. They came with me actually and joined in, and it was it's just a really good experience. And I think if you stop that, you're really stopping something very, very important in city life.
Just joining up everything you said, so you've got grandchildren, and you only busked for the first time last year. Clearly, this was a life ambition that you finally managed to do.
Yeah, it was on my to-do list. My last year's New Year's resolution was to go busking, so I have to just fulfil that.
Oh, well done.
But I do go to open mics quite a lot, so that's kind of in the same kind of thing.
Now, you also mentioned now, obviously, how passionate you are about the environment. You write songs on the matter as well. We were talking about clothes swapping on the programme earlier on.
Yeah, I heard that bit. That's when I came into the radio show, because I'd just come in and I heard that, my ears pricked up, and then you mentioned busking, so I just felt I had to just call in.
Okay, so you'd consider clothes swapping, would you? That's something you do yourself?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it sounds so exciting, but I don't know if that... I'm going to have to look it up, because was it swishing or something? And it just sounded like such a great event. I'd love to do that, and I'm all for that. And it's more fun. It's more individual as well. And I love the workshop that's going alongside to sort of show you how to adapt clothes and to do your own repairs. I thought that was just such a brilliant idea.
One of the key elements of busking is you set up your own social media account so that people can come and find your music after you've packed up and gone home. So have you done that yet?
Yeah, I'm not so good at that. I have got, you know, sort of, and I do have a little notice which says it all on it, which I've hand painted. But I find that the social media and that side of it just not quite so exciting.
Get the grandkids involved. Honestly, they'll know what to do. Get them filming you performing. Get them posted up online.
Well, I did. One of your your radio reporters. Anna O'Neill actually spotted me at the when I was singing my song about plastic, and it actually ended up on one of your shows on the news. But my songs are about the environment, and I sort of hope to make a difference with the songs that I'm writing, and I just continue writing them.
Good for you. Do that, please do, Caroline, and I hope we'll speak again. And I'm not at all surprised to hear Anna O'Neill sniffed you out. She is our most ferocious news hound in that sense, and she can smell a story at a mile away. I tell you. What a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your call. There's Caroline in North London, in her 60s now, with grandchildren, and busked for the first time last year after finally plucking up the courage to get out there and do it. Isn't that great? 0800 731 2000. I wonder whether or not these kinds of new restrictions that Westminster City Council are looking to impose on areas in central London might actually have stopped someone like Caroline plucking up the courage and getting out there. Because, of course, if you've got to jump through extra hoops to be able to perform, would you bother in the first place? Surely getting over those nerves and grabbing your guitar and heading off to a street corner is frightening enough, let alone having to fill out countless blooming pages of licence application first. Would it stifle that creativity, as well as potentially the atmosphere in central London, if buskers were restricted to just 2 or 3 spots up near Marble Arch and nowhere near Oxford Circus or Chinatown or anything like that? Keep your calls coming in on that as well. 0800 731 2000. We've been talking about the Royals as well.